My mom found a new Coleman stove and she just gave it to me. So this is a new stove to me. I don't know much about it, but I looked it up on Amazon and I saw that it sells 2,000 to 3,000 of these a month. So this is actually a pretty common stove and a lot of people already have it, or there's probably already a lot of videos on it, I'm sure. But today we're just gonna open this Coleman Triton stove and see what it's about. I'm also going to compare it to my Everest stove and my old Coleman stove that I have down here to see how it fits size-wise, and if it's just maybe the new stove that I'll end up using. I've had my Everest one for about 8 years, so probably could use a new stove, but the thing about stoves is they don't really have a lot of pieces. So even this one that I have from like 1993 works completely fine, and this Everest one works fine. So you don't actually always need to get a new stove, but if you're in the market to get a stove, or you do want to get a new stove, then let's check out this Coleman Triton one. It's got 22,000 BTUs, easy to clean, heavy duty, perfect heat, bunch of stuff that probably doesn't really matter. But let's just open this thing up and see what it looks like. I haven't opened a new stove in a long time. I'm kind of excited. This is black, as you can see. It's got some foam around it. And this is a propane stove, and my other two stoves are propane, and so I do like the propane stoves. Oh, it came with some, well, maybe it didn't. I bet these were probably my dad's. Some Coleman waterproof matches were in here, so, and an old knife. So it maybe looks like it has been at least opened. Actually, I don't know if it has been used or not. It still has the tag right here on the side. So we'll take that off and let's open it up. Yes, it has not been used. I didn't think it had been. And so let's see what we've got on the inside in here. Maybe this side had been used, I guess. I thought it was brand new, but this is the stove. Oh, that's kind of just screws in there. Okay, so yeah, it said easy cleaning on the box, and looks like you have these two little burners that you can just take off to clean. So that's actually really cool. I hadn't seen that before. My other stove, the Everest one, has a lot of little pieces on the inside, and when you use it, it makes a huge mess. So yeah, this does look like it would be easy to clean. That's actually kind of cool. I've never seen that before. Like I said, I don't always have to buy new stoves. And so this does open up. This one's a little bit darker, so maybe someone did use it, but it still has all the plastic on here, so I don't really know. My mom found this in our garage at her house and said, "Do you want a new stove?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" So yeah, it looks like it was probably used on one side, so to be honest, there's a little bit of burn on that side. So this one over here has been used. But here is a chrome covered top piece grate that goes on it. Looks like it'll just fit right here. Pretty basic. There's nothing about this so far that seems, you know, like absolutely amazing, but a stove is really just the propane and the fuel and the fire. That's all you're gonna get. Does it have an automatic light? It does not. So one thing I like about my Everest stove is that it has an automatic lighter, and I've used that for, like I said, about 8 years, I think, and the lighter still works. So not having an automatic lighter could matter to some people, but I like having it. So let's put this thing together real quick and see what it looks like when we light it. All right, so tags off. You just stick it in here, I think, right in the side. Yep, there we go. Right here, there's a little side piece. So this is actually a little bit stronger than my Everest stove. I like that better because the other one does move around quite a bit. So it's a pretty decent top right here. I got a few pots and pans. We'll put them on here and see what can fit. This is just our camping set, but I'll get the biggest pan in here. So that one can go right there. That one can go right there. Plenty of room for both. I also grabbed a cast iron pan. So we'll put a cast iron pan because we use a lot of cast iron. Yeah, so you can fit a cast iron. You could probably fit 2 of these cast iron pans. I think this is a 12-inch or 10-inch. Not exactly sure. Right here on the stove. So that's pretty cool. I like that. So big enough for what I need. Real quick, let's just compare it to the size of my other 2 stoves. The one that I mostly use and the one that is my dad's old Coleman stove that I haven't used on a camping trip yet. So there's the size. Looks nice. We've got the Everest. It's a little bit smaller. The Everest is, they're the same height, but the Everest is a little bit longer right here. So that's kind of nice that it's smaller. I like that. And then here's an old Coleman stove from the 90s. And that's actually about the same size, a little bit smaller. So that's cool. They haven't actually made this much bigger over time. And so I really like this stove, but even maybe 2 inches shorter is kind of nice. Thickness, they're all about the same. But so it's definitely right in the middle, I would say. But now let's light it with some propane and see how it works. So here's the starter on here. Like I said, I really like that. It works really well. I've been using it for many years. So let's put this one together and add some fuel. So I got my propane back here, and then my little connector down here. Looks like we're going to connect on this side. Pretty basic connection, just screw it in, nothing special about than any of the other ones I have. Not much wiggle right there, so I like that. Let's make sure these are off. All right, and now let's screw in some propane. All right, let's get some flame, or let's get some gas. See what we got, make sure it works. Yep, sounds good. Sounds good. We're gonna use these waterproof matches. These did not come with it. I'm pretty sure these are just my dad's old ones, as we've been cleaning the garage. These are pretty cool. I haven't really seen many matchboxes anymore. 40 matches. These are waterproof matches. Maybe I'll have to do a test and see if they really are. There's probably some wax on the end of it right here. Lit right up, and let's see how this goes. You can't even see the flame on that. So my other one that I have is definitely a blue flame anytime you're using it. So maybe it's because the light, but I'm all the way on. I wasn't sure that it had lit, so I almost could have burned myself. Oh, these old matches are just breaking as I use them. Let's be a little more careful. They lit right up. All right, that's going. Yeah, you can see the blue a little bit. So in the daylight, it's hard to really see much flame down there that they're burning. But it's quieter than my Everest. That has a nice calming, like, camp sound to it. I like that. That Everest can get pretty loud when you're using it. And this says 22,000 BTU. I don't exactly know what that means. I do kind of wish it had the automatic start, but that's okay. It's a Triton series. Maybe some do, I guess. Maybe there's multiple in this one. But I like this. I like how quiet it is. I just was not expecting that. So let's look at this box a little bit now that we know it works. It says it has removable chrome plated crate, which, yes, removable. I like that. Steel, aluminized steel cooktop. So hopefully that means it won't rust. I don't have any rust on my Everest. Even the old Coleman doesn't have a lot of rust. And 2 independently adjustable burners. I liked those. They were very quiet. It looked like you could actually adjust them quite a bit. My Everest is basically hot or not quite as hot. So it's basically easy to burn stuff on that one. And it has wind blocker panels. But I think any stove that you have is going to have wind blocker panels. So that's not a big deal. But of course they're going to advertise it. So looking at Amazon real quick, there is another version that has an automatic lighter on that. I like that. That's pretty cool. So maybe I would get that one. It also said you could get an hour of burn time on full blast. I'm not sure if that was one or both on a 16-ounce propane tank, which actually that's pretty good. When you get up higher in the mountains, I have found they kind of freeze when we use them up in the Smokies, but you know, normally it's not a huge problem. So I kind of just go like this sometimes, but it looks cool when it freezes, but then it doesn't really work. So that's on the Everest one. I assume that's on most of these. So this is the Coleman Triton Stove, very popular stove on Amazon. sells a lot, so obviously people really like it. It's new to me. I think I'm gonna take this on my trip this weekend. I'm going on my first glamping trip. I've never been glamping before. We usually just are tent campers, and I'm taking my oldest son, so that should be a lot of fun. I don't really want to get a large collection of stoves in my house because I don't have a ton of room, so I have these two. I'll keep the green one because it's my dad's, but maybe if I do end up using this one, the red one, I can give away at a campground or something. I was at a campground once, and there was a man giving away lanterns I was like 10 years old, and he gave me a lantern when I was a kid camping, and I remembered that ever since. And so one of these times I would love to be at a campground and give away some of my lanterns. I got more lanterns than I know what to do with. My whole house is full of them, and I just remember thinking like that was really cool. That was a working lantern, and it stuck with me through all this time. I don't know if I even have that one anymore, but the guy was really cool. So anyways, this is the Triton stove, and thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.